Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to kill fire giants, but before I start this video, if you guys are looking for some more Slayer guides, please check out the description box below for a full list of all the guides I've posted thus far. Enjoy the rest of the video. So when we talk about killing fire giants, there are actually 3 different levels that you can kill. There's a level 86 version which can be found in the Stronghold Slayer Cave. There's also one in the Waterfall Dungeon, as well as the Brimhaven Dungeon. There's also a level 104 and level 109 version in the Catacombs of Kourend, but this is in a multi-combat area and you will need to use prayer in order to kill these ones. All these places I am describing right now will have safe spots, so you can use a range or magic setup with no problems, and I will be discussing all the different setups that you guys can wear for killing fire giants. On the screen now, I've listed some of the best options for range attack bonus. On the left is the more expensive and higher level stuff, while on the right of it is more of the cheaper alternatives. The items highlighted in green are the armor pieces that I would recommend that you focus on if you have the stats and the cash to do so. So feel free to pause the screen anytime so you can pick out your armor, but here are just some example armor setups depending on your level. On the left is my expensive ranging gear setup. I'm wearing a Slayer helm, a necklace of anguish, an Avis assembler, amethyst broad bolts, a blessed high body and chaps, armadillo crossbow and twisted buckler, Pegasian boots, barrels gloves, and archer's ring. If you have some more money, I would also suggest that you switch out the armadillo crossbow and the twisted buckler with a toxic blowpipe with adamant darts because it has a much faster damage output. In the middle is my mid-level setup, so I'm wearing an Avis accumulator, a blessed coif, a fury, broad bolts, black d'hide body and chaps, rune crossbow, book of law, blessed d'hide vams, blessed d'hide boots, as well as an archer's ring. To the right is my cheap and low-level setup. What I'm wearing is a coif, Avis accumulator, glory, Dorgishan crossbow with bone bolts, green d'hide shield, green d'hide body and chaps, combat bracelet, snakeskin boots, and dueling ring. Moving on to the inventory setups for using range, I made some examples for each of the different locations where you can kill fire giants. All of them are practically the same. Each of them have a few ranging potions, a dose of stamina potion, and at the bottom are just some higher level items that if you have it, you can bring. I brought a rune pouch filled with nature and fire runes, a bone crusher that you get from doing the hard Mauritania diary, a herb sack for storing herbs, as well as some teleports to get out of that location. And right above the line of items at the bottom are items and teleports needed to access the actual location. So for the Stronghold Slayer Cave one, I'm bringing a Slayer ring with me. For the Brimhaven one, I'm bringing an axe to cut the vines, a Brimhaven teleport tab, as well as 875 coins to pay Sandbosch to get into the dungeon. The Waterfall Dungeon, I'm bringing a games necklace to teleport close to the dungeon, a rope, and a Glareal's amulet. You do not need to bring the Glareal's amulet if you've already finished the Waterfall quest. And for the Catacombs of Kourend, I'm just bringing some runes to cast the Kourend teleport spell. And moving on to the magic gear items, like I said before, the best armor is listed to the left, and the cheaper alternatives are written to the right. The items I highlighted in green are the items which will increase your magic damage output and will speed up the amount of kills you get per hour. So using that chart, I've just made some example armor setups, that way you guys can copy it if you want. To the left, I'm bringing a Slayer helmet imbued, a magic cape imbued, an occult necklace, a blessing, Aram's robe top and bottom, a staff of the dead to cast fire blast, wind wave, or any other combat spell that you wish, a book of darkness, a tormented bracelet, eternal boots, as well as a seer's ring. In the mid-level setup, I'm bringing a Farseer helm, a magic cape, an amulet of fury, blessing, charged Ivan staff to cast Ivan's blast, mystic top and bottom, book of darkness, mystic gloves, boots, and a seer's ring. For the low-level setup, I'm bringing a mystic hat, a magic cape, amulet of glory, mist battle staff, or any other elemental staff for the combat spell that you wish to cast, Xerican top and bottom, book of darkness, combat bracelet, mystic boots, and seer's ring if you have one. Moving on to the inventory examples, and like I said, I made one for each of the different locations for killing fire giants, so all of them are practically the same. Each of them have the runes to cast the combat spell that I wish to cast. Your runes can be different depending on what you want to cast, but I'm bringing some death and fire runes to cast the fire blast, a dose of stamina potion. At the very bottom are higher level items which can make your task easier, like an imbued heart. You don't need to bring this because it is very expensive, but it is something to consider if you do have a lot of money. I've also brought a rune pouch filled with nature and fire runes, a bone crusher, a herb sack to store some herbs, as well as a teleport out of there. If I'm killing those fire giants in the Stronghold Slayer Cave, in the inventory I'm bringing with me a Slayer ring to teleport to the cave. For the Brimhaven Dungeon, I'm bringing just any axe to cut the vines in the dungeon, a Brimhaven teleport, as well as 875 coins to pay Sandbosch to enter the dungeon. the Waterfall Dungeon, I'm bringing a games necklace to teleport pretty close to the dungeon, a rope to climb the tree, as well as a Galerial's amulet, which you do not need to bring if you've already completed the Waterfall quest, but if you haven't done it, you will need this amulet. And for the Catacombs of Kourend, just some runes to cast a Kourend teleport spell. And finally, going on to the melee setups, I've listed some of the best armor that you can wear from left to right in this chart shown here. The items highlighted in green give some strength bonus, so incorporating those items into your armor setup will make your kills much faster. So these armor pieces are very good for single combat areas, but if you're killing the fire giants in the Catacombs of Kourend where it's multi-combat, I'm now showing you guys some prayer melee setups because you will need to use the protect from melee prayer. Like I said, I've listed the best things from the left to the right. The only difference here is really providing some options for increasing your prayer bonus so you can use your prayer potions without using too much money. So feel free to pause the screen to make your own melee armor setups, but here would be some example armor setups. So to the left, I'm showing you guys a prayer melee setup. I'm bringing with me a Slayer helm, a torture, a fire cape, a blessing, a whip, Dragon Defender, Proselyte armor, barrels, gloves, primordial boots, and a berserker ring. For the mid to high level setups, I'm bringing a Slayer helm, an Obby cape, or a fire cape if you have it, a fury, a blessing, a whip, a Dragon Defender, Torag's body and legs, dragon boots, combat bracelet, as well as a berserker ring. For the low to mid level setup, I'm bringing a berserker helm, an Obby cape, a glory, a blessing, a dragon scimitar, a rune kite shield, a granite body, dragon plate skirt, mithril gloves, rune boots, and a warrior ring. For the inventory examples, I made different ones depending on the location you choose to kill them at, but each of them are pretty much the same for the single combat area location, so all of those have a couple of super attack, strength, and defense potions. You can swap those out with super combat potions if you have some more money. I've also brought a couple doses of stamina potion, about 8 to 12 sharks, or any high healing food that you have. In each of those setups, I've also brought a cannon with some cannonballs if you have the money to do so. If you don't want to bring it, just bring some more food instead. At the bottom of those, I'm bringing a rune pouch filled with nature and fire runes, a bone crusher, a herb sack to store herbs, and some one-click teleports to get out of those locations. And just like the range and magic setups, I brought some different items that you will need to bring if you are killing different fire giants in different locations. So for the Stronghold Slayer cave, I'm bringing with me a Slayer ring to teleport to the cave. The Brimhaven Dungeon one, I'm bringing an axe to cut the vines in the dungeon, a Brimhaven teleport, as well as at least 875 coins to pay Santabotch to enter the dungeon. For the Waterfall Dungeon inventory, I'm bringing a games necklace to teleport to Barbarian Outpost, which will bring you pretty close to the dungeon, a rope to climb the rock in the tree, as well as the Galerial's amulet, which you will need to bring if you have not completed the Waterfall quest yet. And finally, for the Catacombs of Kourend, this is the multi-combat area, so what I'm bringing with me is a couple of super attack and strength potions, about 8 to 12 prayer potions, a holy wrench if you have it, runes to cast a Kourend teleport spell, and at the bottom I've also brought a rune pouch filled with nature and fire runes, a bone crusher, a herb sack to store herbs, and a one-click teleport to get out of the catacombs. So that was a lot of content to cover, so hopefully you have chosen the armor setup that you wish to use for the fire giants that you want to kill. So we'll start it off with the Stronghold Slayer Cave, which is probably one of the most popular places to kill them. However, this place is only accessible if you have the fire giants as a slayer task. So I'll show you guys on the world map right now, but my fastest way of getting here is by using the Slayer Ring teleport and teleporting to the Stronghold Slayer Cave, which will bring me just east of the cave. If you've unlocked spirit trees in the game, you can also use a spirit tree that will bring you right over here, and then you just run southwest. If you don't have those teleports, the next best option is going all the way Ardoon, which will teleport you just about here. Then you just want to run all the way northwest, past the gate, and then that'll bring you right to the cave over here. So when you get here, you want to enter the cave and run southwest past the Hellhound. So I'll show you guys how to get there. I'll enter the cave, and I'll zoom out just a little bit, that way you guys can see more of the screen. But like I said, you want to run south once you get in here, and run southwest, past the agility sign and past the Hellhounds. Keep running southwest. And then once you get through this passage, you want to run west. And here's where you'll find the fire giants, so I'll just stand right over here. If you're arranging them or using magic, you just have to stand in one of these passageways and then you can safe spot them. So there's a lot of people right now here, but you can stand here, for example, and just attack the fire giant, and they will not be able to access you. So you can see right now they won't be able to get me. You can also go around here in this north passage here. This guy has the right idea as well. Just stand in the passageway and then you can attack them from here. You can also attack them from here as well and attack the ones there. As long as you stand in the passageways, you can pretty much just safe spot the fire giants. So very easy to do. There's another safe spot over here where these guys are. you can pretty much just follow most of the people what they're doing, because there's a lot of people safe spawning these fire giants. So anyways, let's move on to the next location. So I'll now cover the Brimhaven Dungeon location. So to get here, I'll show you guys where I am on the world map. But what you can do is you can use a Brimhaven teleport. You can make this by using a Nightmare Zone redirection scroll on a teleport to house tab. It requires 40 construction to make, but that'll teleport you right over here, and then you can just run southwest to get to the dungeon. Another way of getting here is by using charter ships around RuneScape. That'll teleport you just northeast of the dungeon, and then you just want to run southwest until you get here. If that is not an option, you can also use an Amulet of Glory teleport, or you can pay one of the people on Port Sarim. That'll teleport you just east of Brimhaven. You just want to run west, past the gate here, and then run southwest until you hit this dungeon. The last and final way of getting here is by using the Fairy Raincoat CKR. That'll teleport you just south of Taibowana Village. That'll get you right over here. And then you just want to run northwest, past the general store, and then through this little passage until you hit the dungeon. So when you get here, you can go ahead and right click to pay Santabotch. Skip through the dialogue to give him all the coins, and then you can go ahead and enter the dungeon. So once you're down here, you want to run west. And like I said, you should have an axe with you with your inventory set up. And then what you want to do is you want to chop down the vines. So I'll just turn the screen just a little bit. And then you want to chop the vines to get through. And like I said, you can bring any axe that you wish to get through the vines. Now what you want to do is you want to run northwest, past the second passage on the north side here. And then you want to keep running west. Past this agility shortcut sign. And then you'll see some stepping stones that you can climb over. So you want to jump over them. Keep running southwest. You'll pass some moss giants. You want to go as southwest as you can until you see a passageway there, so keep running southwest. You'll see this little passage. Keep running southeast now. Once you get through the passage, keep running south. It really doesn't matter, but here are where the fire giants are at, so just keep running southeast. You'll start seeing them right now. So here is where the safe spot at, and there's already a guy there, unfortunately. So what you can do, you can safe spot them right here. If you're using melee, you can just go ahead, drink your superset, and start attacking them. But what you want to do if you're safe spotting them with ranger magic, just stand there, drag them in here, just stand somewhere around the middle, and then you can just safe spot them. Next up is the Waterfall Dungeon Fire Giant. So the fastest way of getting here, I'll show you guys on the world map where I am, is by using a games necklace, which will teleport you to Barbarian Outpost. You just want to run south until you hit this house right here. Another way of getting here is by using a skills necklace by teleporting to the Fishing Guild. That'll teleport you right here. You just want to run northwest until you hit this house. Another way of getting here is also by just teleporting to Ardoon. That'll teleport you right over here. You just want to run northwest all the way. Might want to drink a dose of stamina potion until you hit this house right here. Once you get here, you want to enter the house. So just go through all the gates, through all the doors. Keep running west. And you want to board this log raft. And just wait a couple seconds and the animation will appear. So we're now on this part of the island. I'm just going to turn the screen a little bit. That way you guys can see where I'm looking at. But what you want to do is you want to use your rope on the rock right here. And that will bring you all the way across. And then once you're across, you can go ahead, use the rope on the dead tree here. And that will swing you all the way to the bottom here. So as long as you have the Glaros amulet, or if you have the Waterfall Dungeon quest complete, you can just go ahead through the dungeon and you will be able to access it. So once you're in the dungeon, you can go ahead into the northwestern passage here. You can go all the way up northwest, and there's two different rooms to kill fire giants at. So there's a good safe spot right up here in the northern part, near this door, and if you stand right beside the door, so a good safe spot method is just by attacking them here, going back to the door, and then they won't be able to access the passage, so you can safe spot them there. If you are meleeing them, you can just go ahead into the other room as well. There's a whole bunch of other fire giants. You can do what this guy's doing, just drop down your cannon, drink your superset, and start attacking them, but this is the safe spot that you want to use for range and magic. Finally, I will be covering the fire giants in the Catacombs of Kourend on Zaya. In order to get to Zaya, you will need to first have the Client of Kourend quest completed before accessing this location. Once you have that quest completed, there are many ways to get to the catacombs, so I'll show you guys on the world map where I am. The first method, which is the quickest method of getting here, is by unlocking the Teleport to Kourend spell requiring level 69 magic to cast. You can also use a Kourend portal in a player-owned house, but in order to use these teleports, you will need to first get the Transportation Incantations book from the Arceus House Library, and I've already made a guide on how to get this book, so I've linked that in the description box below if you want to use that guide. Basically, that'll teleport you right beside the statue to enter the Catacombs of Kourend. The next fastest way is by using the fairy ring code DJR. That'll teleport you right near the Chasm of Fire right over here. And like I said, you will need to have the Client of Kourend quest completed in order to use this fairy ring. On top of using this fairy ring code, you will also need to have unlocked this hole right over here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will need to basically traverse the Catacombs of Kourend first and then climb up the rope in order to unlock this hole. If you need to do it, I've linked in the description box below how to traverse the dungeon and how to get to this place right here. That way you have this hole unlocked, and then you can just use the fairy ring code to always access this hole. Another way of getting here is also by using the redirection scroll that you get from Nightmare Zone on a Teleport to House tab, and then redirecting it to Kourend, requiring level 25 construction to make. That'll teleport you just south of the Hosidius house right over here, and then what you want to do is you just want to run all the way northwest until you hit right here in the Kingdom of Great Kourend. The next quickest option is by using the Xerix Talisman to teleport to Xerix Lookout. All you want to do is just want to run north and then northeast until you hit this Kingdom of Great Kourend. And one of the final ways of getting here, which is just simply going to Port Sarim and then talking to Vales on the most southeastern dock. He'll bring you just right over here to the Pisarilius house, and then all you want to do is run all the way west until you hit the Great Kingdom of Great Kourend. So once you get here, all you need to do is left click the statue in order to climb down. And when you're down here, what you want to do is run south, and I'll show you guys on the world map where I'm going, but I'm just going through the room with the ghosts and with the room with the Cyclopses. So I'm running southwest into the Bloodveld room, and then running north to hit the Fire Giant, so I'll do that right now. So you'll climb up some stairs, and you'll see some Bloodvelds here as well. Keep running up north. And here is where the first safe spot is at. You'll see that it kind of ramps down where the Fire Giants are at. You'll see like a little purple circle on the wall. All you have to do is really attack the Fire Giant and try to get stuck on this ledge right here. And if you attack one of the middle ones, they usually will get stuck. So that is the first safe spot. There's also another safe spot if you run up north. And basically what you're trying to do is trying to get this Fire Giant up here stuck on this ledge. So what you want to do, just keep running up north and try to lure it over here. So I'll try to do it in this example. So I try to lure it to this spot here, run east. So that one didn't work. I'll just try it again. Sometimes it's just by chance. There you go. Try to drag it out. And you want to stand right there. And now it'll get stuck. And you can turn off your protection repairs. And you can just attack any of the ones except for that one, because this one will kind of make all the other ones stuck on this ledge right here. So you can attack that Fire Giant. If you are using melee or using a prayer melee setup, you can just run right into a group of 3 or 4 Fire Giants, turn on protection from melee as well as preserve, drink a dose of your attack and strength potion, and then just watch your prayer points and just go at it. But this is a pretty good safe spot for magic or range. But anyways, that is just about it for this Fire Giants guide. I tried to make it as in-depth as possible, so if this guide has helped you out in any way, please make sure to leave it a like so more people can find this video. But that is just about it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next guide. Bye.